Vijay is a big proof of whether you come from a certain kind of cinema that's more experimental or you come from mainstream. At the end, we all need to give good performances, and he's actually an actor who's proof.
Tamannaah, she broke into films at the age of 15. And she became a superstar by the time she was 17. She's achieved everything by the age of 25.
It does. There's nothing else that we can do as actors apart from giving performances consistently over and over again to win the hearts of the audience, because that's the only way to their heart.
Hello and welcome to ETimes. Sujoy sir, Vijay and Tamannaah. Sujoy sir, now what brought you back to a, let's say, to a short film kind of a thing? Because you made Ahilya, if I'm not wrong, for you back then.
Yeah.
So what got you back into that same format?
I think it's the challenge of writing, again, a story which would fit into this half an hour segment, a 26-minute segment. I think that's it, you know. It's a challenge. Sometimes you need that challenge, because when you're writing a feature film or a series, you have a lot of scope, a lot of range, you know, to play around with. But here you have to be crisp, you have to be precise, and you have to adhere to a certain thought process. In which case, this is lust, right? So that was interesting. That I really wanted to see if I could do.
Vijay, or should I call you Radhika Apte of Netflix? The male Radhika Apte of Netflix. How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it's a backhanded compliment.
Backhanded, fronted de raha main to aapko.
Because Apte is really cool, and Apte did some fab work with Netflix. I think I'm cool, and I'm doing some fab stuff with Netflix, so you can call me male Radhika Apte.
And you are literally on a roll right now. Your last web show you got you immense appreciation. Your film with Netflix called Darling also did really well for you. How do you look at the current time from a time when your film Monsoon Shootout was struggling to release, and now you have back-to-back releases?
I think I've seen the entire journey, and I think what I earned in that waiting period was I probably learned how to be patient, how to not lose a sense of self, how to keep my sanity, how to continue working on my craft, and so many other things. I think all of it collectively came together, and the efforts that I've put in the last few years are giving me fruits right now. But I really thoroughly enjoyed the journey, you know, with all its ups and downs and all the waiting. And, you know, I haven't met one person in Bombay in the industry who's not had his or her share of major stories, you know, ups and downs. I've spoken at length with Sujoy sir, and he's had his share of journey.
He's had his journey, of course, Aladdin.
Home delivery?
Home delivery.
No, how Kahani came into being is also a great story. And all of us have. Like Tamannaah, she broke into films at the age of 15. And she became a superstar by the time she was 17. And
Which kind of leaves you at a place where, like, now what?
She's achieved everything by the age of 25.
It does.
You know,
it's not a fun scene to kind of see that kind of success that early, because then you're like, now what? But I think it boils down to one thing, which Vijay is a big proof of, is that whether you come from a certain kind of cinema that's more experimental or you come from mainstream, at the end, we all need to give good performances, and he's actually an actor who's proof that that is the only thing that stands the test of time. There's nothing else that we can do as actors apart from giving performances consistently over and over again to win the hearts of the audience, because that's the only way to their heart.
But also at one point, it also ends up with who ends up trusting you to give you that one opportunity. Yes, okay, I trust you. I'll give you that one film, give you that one role. For him, it was Zoya Akhtar. For him, it was Penn, and who was back for him with Kahani. So how do you build that trust, or it's just luck factor that someone trusts me?
Well, I did Bahubali right after Hum Shakals and Himmatwala, which was, you know. So I think for actors somewhere it is also like you need to suit a part also. Whether it's commercial cinema or it is experimental or it's whatever we call art cinema. I don't understand even why it's called that, but for whoever understands that terminology, I just feel like essentially you need to suit the part. And I feel like the moment you also evolve as a person, that kind of starts shining through, and then filmmakers approach you for parts that kind of come in the same frequency. So I think for an actor, it's also essential that you keep evolving as a person, because the more interesting you are as a person, the more characters you end up playing, and the more characters you attract. Is I think that's the way I would do it.
Okay. Sujoy sir, you're working with Vijay in 2 projects. This is one, second is Devotion of Suspect X. So was that the audition for this one, or this is the audition for that one?
Woo!
No, we did Devotion first.
Yeah.
And while we were shooting Devotion, he was thinking of love stories.
Yeah.
But he had...
But I think
he was teasing a few actors.
तेरे
को भी ले सकता हूँ, तेरे को भी ले सकता हूँ.
नहीं, no, ऐसे मैं नहीं किया. No, but you know, I was writing, and Vijay kind of fell into the character. See, when you write, you have certain features that you think of the character, and he just fell into the place. Also because his name is Vijay.
The character.
Yeah.
He named the character Vijay.
Yeah, there's certain, when you see the film, you'll know why. But I needed that. So there were certain features I needed in that character, which he completely did. And there's certain features I needed in my protagonist, which he completely just ticked all the boxes and more. So for me, that's how it is, you know. When an actor matches the character I have written, 50% of my work is done, and then it's up to them where they take the character.
Tamannaah, as you were discussing your career, you became actor at 15, became superstar at 17, but somehow when it comes to Hindi, you've somehow had a trial and error method. Somehow things have worked and things have not worked. Does it bother you that at one industry you're a superstar, whereas in Hindi you somewhere still have to begin like a newcomer?
Oh, I love that, and I also think I'm alive. So for me, as long as I'm alive, there's always a chance for an opportunity. So for me, it's actually exciting, because if I achieved everything, then there'd be nothing more to look forward to. So I actually kind of like this. I'm loving this phase of my career where I feel like I have new waters to walk on, and it's fun, and it's a challenge, and I'm enjoying it actually.
Okay. Vijay, with The Hard, with Darlings, and to some extent what I read about Lust Stories too, do you often choose roles which are more provocative? Like that's what you attract to yourself, that I want to play a role where I evoke an emotion on whoever sees me?
So when I read these scripts, I don't create these characters. Somebody has written it. Somebody with a more twisted mind than mine has written these parts. So when I read this, when I'm reading the screenplay, sometimes certain characters pop out. And I'm glad that I take those parts on, because they're doing stuff that surprises you, shocks you, amazes you, or so many other things that happen. So I feel like it's a scary prospect, because if you get it right, it's great. If you don't get it right, then it's a disservice to the project. So to get it right, then I have to work a lot and really like shed a lot of inhibitions, lose a part of myself, and surrender to the director and go through sometimes discomfort to achieve those parts. But I enjoy, I like the word you use. It was provocation, right? To provoke. Yeah. It must have done something. I remember watching Borat, the Sacha Baron Cohen film, and I couldn't understand what this artist was trying to do. It was shocking and it was hilarious at the same time, but it was making me uncomfortable, and so many other things were happening. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. Like when you see a Buster Keaton, it is supposed to do something to you. When you see a Chaplin, he amazes you with all the skills that he has, and certainly there's pathos and there's comedy, and he's making jokes about poor men, and he's making fun of rich people. It's so many things happening. It constantly keeps you engaged. So I like my characters to do something that constantly engages with the audience as well.
Thank you.
Done. Superb. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.